Welcome to Inside the Indians, your source for insider information on the Tribe. Stay with us as we bring you the latest about the players, managers, and people behind the scenes at Victory Field. Now here's your host, the longtime broadcast voice of the Indians, Howard Kellman.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Inside the Indians, a show about the Indianapolis Indians in baseball. On today's first show, we'll talk to Tribe manager Brian Esposito, Indianapolis Indians outfielder Austin Meadows, and Indianapolis Indians board chairman and CEO Bruce Schumacher. We'll be back to talk to the new manager of the Indians, Brian Esposito. This is Inside the Indians on WHMB TV 40. Esposito, the new manager of the Indianapolis Indians, is our first guest on Inside the Indians. Brian, it's great to have you back in the city because you were a coach with the Indians in 2013.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Look forward to it.
Tell us your thoughts and feelings on becoming manager of the Indians.
It's something that, I always had in my mind when I first took this coaching position, and Indianapolis is a great place. So just to be able to come back here and manage this club and this stadium and this city is just a blessing, and I'm looking forward to it.
And you do have experience as a manager for several years now.
Yeah, I did a lot of our lower level stuff for a while, and then last year got my feet wet doing some coordinating and seeing things across the entire organization. So this is going to be a pretty good challenge for me. I'm ready for the challenge.
Tell us your overall thoughts when you look at the ball club.
We have a lot of good young ball players. I think hunger is the word that we're going to bring to the table every day. We have a lot of guys that are hungry for their opportunity to help impact this club at the major league level. They're willing to do all the small things and the small details to become a better player on a daily basis. They work hard, they play hard. We got some good pitchers out of the bullpen. We got some good rotation guys that are going to get their feet wet for the first time in this kind of at the AAA level. So it's a good mix. It's a good blend of some players that have done it and then some players that are willing to do it. So it's going to be a pretty good team.
Brian, you mentioned good young players, yet among the position players, even though they're young, they have some experience at this level.
Yeah, at this level, and then there's some guys that have experience at the major league level. So it's a really good blend. Experience comes in many shapes and sizes. I think for the most part, we have some guys that did some pretty cool things in Pittsburgh last year that are back here to get some more seasoning and be able to work some things out. And we have some players that got their feet wet at this level last year that maybe didn't quite get to the big leagues yet, but are on the verge of cracking that, and then we're going to continue to do what we need to do.
One of the guys who's back and has gotten a lot of publicity, big prospect, Austin Meadows, and the first thing with him is he has to stay healthy.
Yeah, it's a matter of just him taking care of what he needs to take care of. He's made some adjustments in his offseason program, so he's shown out really well. He had a really good big league camp. He's had even better minor league camp once he was optioned out, and he's been healthy. He's running well. He's doing a lot of different things that he needs to get over the hump with to put him in a position to impact that major league club.
And he's still very young.
Yeah, very young player, and he's just continuing to learn every day.
Jordan Luplow came on the scene last year. I was really impressed with him, not only his talent, but his makeup.
Yeah, good player. Another guy that plays with some hunger, wants to get things done. He wants to get some work done. He's back in this lineup. He'll play the outfield for us. Great outfielder. Good run producer at the plate. He's going to continue to hone that craft of driving in runs and being a run producer in the middle of in the lineup, not just here, but moving forward for Pittsburgh.
Tell us about your catchers.
Very tall. Jacob Stallings, Ryan Lavarnway, two really good cerebral guys that understand the game, can call really good games, know the nuances of the position, which is going to help a lot of these younger pitchers that we have. They're going to help them tremendously. So I'm looking forward to seeing these guys work. They're both grinders. They both play the game the right way. They both contribute, not just defensively, but offensively. They contribute. They handle the bat well. They're able to do some of the small things. They're also able to charge up the baseball pretty good and impact the ball. So look forward to seeing them work.
Jacob Stallings had an excellent season last season, and he made great progress from the year before. And that's, I think, one of the things to always keep in mind is the way players can progress and improve from year to year.
Well, that's what you're always looking to do. You're trying to get marginal gains. Every year that I've watched Jacob play since he came into the organization, he's made marginal gains every year and continues to grow as a player and as a man. He knows what his job is. He knows who he is as a player, and he just tries to be the best version of himself every day. And we're seeing a lot of growth out of him, and we're also seeing a lot of results from it.
Now, one man we don't know, but you've seen play, is Kevin Kramer, the fine young second baseman. Tell us about him.
Defines the word hunger. He's an ultra competitor. He shows up every day wanting to beat somebody's ass every day. It's what we truly embody as a Pirate, what we want. He can swing the bat, he can impact the ball, he is extremely savvy on defense. He's one of those guys on the field that just knows what he's doing, and he's a tremendous leader.
And Jose Osuna is making a change to a new position.
Yeah, he's going to work at third base this year. He's a guy that's done a lot of good things, and he continues to show his value as an impact player. He's back down here, and we're going to get him better, and we're going to get him back to the big leagues and help impact that club.
Well, the first thing you look at a guy is his hands, and Osuna has good hands.
Yeah, he's a good defender. You know, a lot of those guys that you as run producers, you look at him just the bat only, but he's extremely slick at first base fielding, and his ability to come across the diamond and play third base, he's shown out really well as well. You know, some of the nuances of the position, knowing where to be without the ball, and just reading some swings and the bunt and all the different things will be a little bit of a challenge for him once you get into gameplay. But as far as his skill level and his ability and the arm strength, it all plays out.
And the pitching staff has a lot of turnover.
Yeah, a lot of new guys, a lot of guys that we've had in this organization getting an opportunity to pitch out of this rotation and in the bullpen as well. We got some free agent guys that came over. I look forward to seeing them. We had some guys that came over in some trades. It's going to be a great opportunity for a lot of these guys to show what they're capable of doing.
Tell us about your coaching staff.
Ryan Long is a great hitting coach. Really understands how we're training some things outside the box to get guys prepared for 7 o'clock. You know, the standard old concept of just taking BP and then going into the game. You know, he really builds on getting these guys prepared for their at-bats. So every opportunity we have, whether it's in the cage or on the field, he's breeding them to have really good at-bats. Stan does a great job with the pitchers. He gets them prepared. You know, he's very savvy at this level as well. He knows what goes on, so he's a good buffer between bad cop, meaning me, and the good cop, so that's a good dynamic. And then Greg Picard is our assistant coach who has some infield background, bilingual, so any kind of, you know, opportunities he has to translate if we need be, he's going to be there for that. And then Drew Scott's a great trainer. A little small, but he's big at heart, and he does a lot of big things for us. And Alan Burr, our strength and conditioning guy, does a great job, man. You know, that's all about those two guys keep these guys on the field, and that's your best ability is your availability. So they do a really good job with that.
Brian, I thank you so much. We'll look forward to talking to you on the next show, and we wish you the very best of luck. It's great to have you aboard.
Appreciate it.
That's Indianapolis Indians manager Brian Esposito. We'll have more on WHMB TV 40. Indianapolis Indians board chairman and CEO is our next guest on Inside the Indians. Bruce, another baseball season is underway. Give us your thoughts as we begin the campaign.
Well, it's always exciting to get started, Howard. Exciting to get started. This year's no exception. We've had a very busy off season. The suite level has been greatly renovated that a lot of people get to enjoy this year, both in terms of functionality and in terms of really honoring the history of Indians baseball in Indianapolis, starting with the opening of Perry Stadium on West 16th Street in 1931 to the present. Really well done by our graphics people, and just another piece to be even more excited about the 2018 season.
Well, you're so right. It's so beautifully done, honoring our rich history and the suites themselves. And that was the main project this winter, where a year ago it was the video board.
Well, we're always trying to do something to keep the ballpark fresh, to keep it well maintained, to keep raising the bar on the experience out here. And as you said, the video board and the ribbon boards last year added a lot to the fan experience. We went high definition. The PA system was all redone last year also. So this year it's the suites turn to get spruced up and majorly improved.
Max Schumacher had a lot of praise with the way you and President and General Manager Randy Lewandowski are working together. Tell us about this, your second year as board chairman and CEO.
Well, I think it's really easy for Randy and I to work together because we both look at things the same way in terms of, what's best for the Indians, what's best for our fans, what's best for Victory Field. And I think when you have that in common, everything else just flows out of that really well. And it's worked out very well, and we have a fabulous staff of 45 people who get a lot of quality work done for us.
We talk about the fans, and for the second straight year last year, the Indianapolis Indians led all of minor league baseball in attendance.
Well, we're going to try to keep doing that. If Mother Nature cooperates, I think we get a chance to do it. I think we're well set up in terms of ticket sales and promotions, so it'll be fun to see that play out over 70 dates this summer.
And you mentioned the 70 dates, 2 fewer games this year than last and 4 fewer from 2 years ago.
Yeah, they have tried to build in more travel days for the minor league players, so that means 70 home dates for us, total 140 games as opposed to 142 last year, 144 the year before that.
Your dad was general manager and named general manager when you were very young in 1961. Tell us what it was like growing up around the old ballpark and growing up around baseball as a youngster.
I guess maybe my first memory is him listening to the Chicago White Sox games on this little brown radio he had and hearing those call, and then to be out here and hear some of the names, Marv Staley and Cotton Nash and some of those guys. As a kid, that was a pretty great experience, and I had the opportunity as I got a little bit older to do everything from usher to work in the old scoreboard where you had to put the numbers in manually, to take food and beverage to the guys in the press box, to run a video camera for the Cincinnati Reds. So yeah, I was pretty much thrown into it and got to enjoy a lot of different parts of it.
And you mentioned the White Sox from 1962 to 67. They were the Indianapolis Indians' parent team. That's the last time we've had an American League affiliate as a parent team.
Well, we want to keep that pitcher batting alive as much as possible.
Well, growing up around the ballpark, you mentioned the 60s, and you made a great point to me when we were talking a couple of months ago. When people talk about your dad, one of the first things they say, well, Max Schumacher did a wonderful job, as did others, in getting Victory Field built. But you talked about the point. He said, well, that was great, yes, but what Max accomplished in the 1960s may have been even more significant.
It was a very tough time for minor league baseball as a whole, and the Indians year to year were struggled to make any kind of profit at all. Some years maybe they'd lose a little money, some years they'd make a little bit of money. That brief period where we had to play in the Pacific Coast League, where, as Dad likes to say, we were in the business for the benefit of the airlines, because we weren't doing well. It was a really tough travel situation, but he and his, we talk about having 45 people on staff. Now we had maybe 3 or 4 full-time people back then, and the ability of keeping it alive then got us to the point where we started to have more success as we got into the 70s and the 80s, and kind of teed it up to a place that we could get downtown, get to this beautiful facility, and take it to an even higher level.
What's really interesting is the fact that when you look at the Indianapolis Indians back then, there weren't a lot of other baseball games competing on TV for people's interest. Now you have all kinds of games on TV, major league games, and yet, as you said, we're drawing so well, and we've set all kinds of attendance records.
Well, I think baseball is a really interesting sport. I think you can make the argument that football is better on TV. Basketball maybe depends on how your seats are. Baseball is just better in person. So to the extent that you can watch baseball almost 24/7 if you had the MLB Extra Innings package on TV, doesn't take the place of the experience of coming to Victory Field and watching the game in person or anywhere else.
And I think what's so great is the family atmosphere here at Victory Field.
Well, it's a huge piece of what we do. With the Knot Hole Club, the kids' ticket program for the whole season for $17. The kids eat free on Sundays, and running the bases on Sundays. So many different things we try to do to promote that kind of atmosphere, because that's what we do, and those young people are the future fans.
Yes, absolutely, and that is so well said. And one of the things this year, too, the dollar menu, not only on Monday evenings, but on Wednesday evenings.
Yeah, well, we talked about the new scheduling. Part of the new scheduling is a lot of the Mondays are open dates, so we thought that, with the chances to do Monday dollar menu reduced, we'd try some Wednesday nights and see how that went. So, like a lot of things, we trial things and we evaluate and move forward accordingly down the road.
Bruce, thank you so much for your time. We wish you continued success and best of luck this season.
Thanks, Howard.
That's Bruce Schumacher, the Indianapolis Indians board chairman and CEO. We'll have more on Inside the Indians. Indianapolis Indians outfielder Austin Meadows is our next guest on Inside the Indians. Austin, great to see you. I know you had a wonderful spring. How are you feeling physically?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really good. It was a great spring training. Good to be healthy, feeling really good. And I'm looking forward to the season.
I know you did some things. You had some injuries in the past. You did some things over the winter and some new training to try to prevent this from happening again.
Yeah, I did. Last year, having all the injuries, the 3 injuries, I kind of ventured out and kind of, made it a priority to kind of, get a new trainer, new diet, kind of knew everything and just kind of change everything up. And so far it's been going really well. And
you had a hamstring issue, and I know stretching is so important when it comes to that.
Yeah. I had the hamstring issues. I've had multiple, and for me, it's a blessing in disguise, and I've learned from it. I've learned what not to do, and that's kind of been the biggest thing for me.
And you went into camp, and you started hitting the ball in Major League camp immediately.
Yeah. I was all that time in the off season. You get 3 or 4 months off of baseball, and with me with the injuries last year, I was off of baseball for a while. So I was ready to go. And I couldn't wait to get back into baseball, and things went smoothly.
Did you play winter ball at all during your career? Have you played winter ball?
I have never done it.
Because some players do, and sometimes it's good to rest, and I think that's what the Pirates wanted you to do this past winter.
Yeah, just to rest and, venture out like the new trainer and just find things that work for me, find a program that works for me. And that was kind of the biggest goal this offseason, to get my legs and everything back under me and get healthy, and I'm good right now.
Tell us the story, your #1 draft pick, of you signing a contract and being drafted by the Pirates.
Yeah, 2013, getting drafted in the first round out of high school. It was a true blessing, just being able to do what I love for a living, and coming out of high school, just ready to get going, ready to try to reach the major leagues, like I'm currently trying to do, and being able to be a part of 2 spring trainings with the big league club so far in my career has just been it's been eye-opening. It's been great, and I'm looking forward to to what the future holds.
Was it an easy decision to sign? Because you probably could have gone to college and played ball too.
It was tough. It was hard with the with the decision whether it was college or professional baseball. But for me, I've always wanted to be a big league player, and in my opinion, that was the quickest route I could do it in. So I figured I'd try to get there as soon as I possibly can, and right now I'm on the verge of it, and I'm going to continue working hard and trying to get there.
What was it like? You sign a contract, you report, you're away from home for the first time with other young players like yourself who also were stars.
It's hard. Being a young 18-year-old kid, being used to living at home, with mom and dad, and them taking care of you and this and that, and then like that, you sign a contract, and then you're on your own, and you kind of got to learn for yourself. You're kind of forced to grow up, and for me, it's been nothing but good things, though. I've learned a lot about myself, a lot about the real world, and it's been great.
You grew up in the Atlanta area, which is pretty conducive to playing baseball.
It is, yeah. A lot of good names. I'm blessed to be from that area and be, just being talked about with a lot of other great names through that area.
Tell us a little bit about your approach to hitting when you get in that batter's box.
For me, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm looking up there, looking to hit the ball hard in any count, and especially early. Up here, guys know what they're doing up there on the mound, and for me, it's having a plan and attacking my strengths early, and then whatever happens after that, we'll play.
You mentioned being aggressive, which is so important, but there's also a part of you that I think wants to be relaxed. A hitter has to be aggressively relaxed to some extent.
Yeah, you don't want to be too over aggressive. You don't want to be too relaxed. You want to try to find that fine line in the middle. And then you wait for the pitcher to make a mistake, and you're able to capitalize on it, and then you do damage from there, and then things will go well.
And you're working with a new hitting coach. You had Butch Weiniger the last 2 years here. Now you got Ryan Long.
Ryan Long, yeah. Butch was great. I learned a lot from Butch. With him being gone, still getting used to it a little bit, but having Rhino was great as well. And the new staff with Espo as well. And I'm looking forward to this season with those guys. And I had Ryan in high A, so I'm used to him, and I'm looking forward to picking his brain a little bit and having a good year.
And there's more to this game than hitting. I know you're working on your overall game in the outfield too.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about this game is, every day is an opportunity to work on something. And for me, it's work on everything I can each and every day. Even stuff I'm good at, stuff that I have more to work on. I'm going to continue working on each aspect of my game and try to be the best athlete, the best baseball player I can be.
Well, Austin, it's great to have you aboard. I thank you very much, and we wish you the best for a great year and a great Major League career.
Thanks a lot, Howard. All right, thank you.
That is Indianapolis Indians outfielder Austin Meadows. We'll have more on Inside the Indians on WHMB TV 40. We thank our guests, Brian Esposito, Austin Meadows, and Bruce Schumacher. On our next show, April 23rd, 9:30 p.m., we'll speak again with Brian Esposito. We'll also talk to Tribe outfielder Jordan Luplow and Indians president and general manager Randy Lewandowski. See you next time on Inside the Indians.